Coming up, every week reports of the latest Brexit consequences get more and more bizarre. In this video, we'll be looking at retired cricketer Ian Botham being appointed as a trade envoy to Australia, and the latest twists in the ongoing supply chain crisis, with prisoners being recruited by businesses to help out, as 13% to 16% of all jobs in the freight, warehousing and hospitality sectors remain unfilled after EU workers return to Europe. Stay tuned. One of my favourite writers and political commentators, David Schneider, has suggested that Ian Botham's truly astonishing appointment as a trade envoy to Australia by the ridiculous Liz Truss was just trolling by Boris Johnson's government, so that anyone interested in British politics would get angry at that rather than the Tories' failure in Afghanistan. Truss says that the retired cricketer Lord Ian Botham, best known to the younger generation as a loud-mouthed, Clarkson-esque, swivel-eyed Brexit gammon who once posted dick pics on social media, will bat for British business down under. Do you see what she did there? And help them seize the opportunities created by our historic trade deal. She's talking about a trade deal, by the way, that is historic in the sense that it adds only between 0.01 and 0.02% to UK GDP, or in other words, about a penny a week per head. And it makes a mockery of the UK's stated ambitions on greenhouse gas emission and climate change, hauling animal products and wine halfway around the world rather than sourcing them on our own geographical doorstep. Oh, and it's also opposed by a British farming industry that have switched from being pro-Brexit to either "this isn't the Brexit I voted for" or "I'm a rejoiner now." And it's funny, isn't it, how senior members of the Tory government tell us that young black footballers with a progressive social action mindset should concentrate on football and stay out of politics, while at the same time they're appointing old white reactionary conservative cricketers to paid political positions. And make no mistake, trade envoy to Australia is the most political of positions, linking a celebrity Brexiter to this much vaunted trade deal with Australia that is being proffered as the primary tangible Brexit benefit to date. But the worst aspect of this appointment is Ian Botham's complete unsuitability for the position as a trade envoy. This is a screenshot of a Guardian article from just a few months ago. Interviewed by Vic Marks, a former teammate and Remain voter, Botham stated on record that he was enjoying being in the House of Lords and will be at Westminster more and more often when we get back to normal, especially when they're debating something I know about, like sport or the countryside. Not much point if it's a trade deal with Japan, from the mouths of babes, hey? OK, Australia, not Japan, but there's no evidence he'd be any the wiser on a trade deal with any country. Liz Truss defended him by saying he knew more about trade with Australia than she did. Well, that's not hard to believe. And I'll just bring your attention to this next answer, which I think says so much about the man's character and suitability as any kind of envoy representing this country. "What about Brexit?" asks Vic Marks. Botham replies, "That doesn't matter, mate. We won." Clearly, Michael Gove was right when he said that we'd had enough of experts. Meanwhile, Brexit Britain is continuing to cope with shortages in the shops. As Sainsbury's have now pulled out of advertising on GB News, I gave them my custom for a grocery delivery at the weekend, as I was struggling to get fresh stuff at my local Lidl. And fully half the products I ordered from Sainsbury's were either unavailable or substituted with an alternative item. And now there are widespread reports that prisoners are being recruited to process food, and that the army are on standby to deliver it. To fill vacancies, companies are trying to draft in prisoners via a scheme that allows inmates to undertake paid work on day release. Some prison wardens are turning away desperately understaffed companies inquiring about the scheme, saying they've already allocated the maximum number of inmates allowed by the government. The Butchers' Trade Association says it set up a call with the Ministry of Justice to plead for its members to be allowed to recruit more current inmates and ex-offenders. Even the Mail Online is reporting that this is, at least partly, a consequence of Brexit. And the Mail are also saying it's going to get worse when schools and offices reopen in September. Yikes. And this is a fanatically pro-Brexit media organisation reporting this. The British Poultry Council have warned that nearly 7,000 roles remain unfilled as a result of EU workers returning home, and that the situation could hit the supply of turkey this Christmas. Nando's are now confirming that their chicken shortage is due entirely to Brexit, not any pingdemic.
Welcome to the Brexit, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
You never know. As the Mail have broken cover, perhaps at some point we can expect the government mouthpiece, the BBC, to start informing the public that these food shortages are indeed Brexit related. Remember, these thousands of food processing vacancies are in addition to the 90 to 100,000 HGV driver vacancies post-Brexit, and an estimated 13% of all warehousing jobs and 16% of all jobs in the hospitality sector are currently left unfilled. At what point are the government going to realise that freedom of movement was a good thing, and that Priti Patel actually boasting about ending it will go down in history as a catastrophic mistake? Me personally, I have no doubt whatsoever that when Lordy Frosty Frost and Blojo succeed in convincing the EU to renegotiate their Brexit deal, they'll demand that a single market and freedom of movement be restored. Or maybe not.